Secrets behind supply and demand. What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today, we're going to discuss some secrets behind supply and demand, the order blocks, the do's and the don'ts, why sometimes we take an order block and it doesn't work, other times it works. Why? There has to be some reasons, correct? So today we're going to learn about these secrets behind the supply and the demand. Now, one thing is for sure, one thing is certain in forex industry: the supply and demand moves the market. Okay, if we have a supply here, price will come to the supply at some point. Now, when it comes to the supply, there will be a reaction, perhaps a little reaction before it fails it. But the point is, we have reacted. There was a reaction there. You understand? So there was a reaction at this point here. We can have a demand. We can have a demand here. After the break of this structure, price comes here and it could buy. You understand? It could buy. And this is still a reaction. So these levels tends to push this market in certain directions depending on the trend. Now, whether it holds, in this case, it didn't last, but it reacted. But this tells you that there was something here, and this whole thing will give you different information entirely. Okay, so supply and demand, these are the things that we retail traders, we need to see these things on the chart so we can make certain decisions. I'm not talking about the bigger banks and all those guys. No, I'm talking about us, you and I, the retail traders. We need to come on the chart here, look at these candlesticks and identify these supply and these demands. For us to make money, we need these informations. Not this. Don't go far about the bigger banks and all of those guys. Just focus on our level. You and I, retail traders, we need certain things to see on the charts so we can make money. So since we've got this aside, the next thing, what I want us to know concerning supply and demand and order blocks, why sometimes this things works, doesn't work, it falls down to the decisions we make. You understand? So, for example, we are on a higher time frame. We need to see the key level. For example, we have this lower highs, lower lows, lower highs, lower lows. Let's say on the monthly time frame, okay, or the weekly time frame. And here we have a shift, this massive impulse, and we have lower highs, start retracing back into a key level, and now we've come into this key level on the monthly time frame or the weekly time frame here. So the mistake, a lot of us, we try to force a buy from this key level. We begin to try to force a buy from here all the way back here, and it doesn't really work that way. So the best thing is, we want to allow price to begin to build up for you, so we can make that move. You understand? So the most times we try to force this buy. We have here, if we come here, we have a key level here. Now, simply because we have a demand here, okay, we have a demand here, and price has entered into our demand, doesn't mean we just come here and look for buys. Now, mind you guys, look at this. Here we have a downtrend, correct? We have a shift here. We have a supposed order block for a buy, for buyers. What do we have here? We have what? A downtrend. Now, why would you want to buy here? Just simply because we have this. We need, since this is a bullish order block, this here is a bullish order block. Bullish OB. Now, what does a bullish OB requires? It requires a bullish sentiment. You understand? For us to, since we have a bullish order block, we need a bullish story that backs up this. So when price enters this order block, is it entering the bullish sentiment or a bearish sentiment? It's definitely entering the bearish sentiment. See, lower highs, and what? Lower lows. We're seeing what breaks the downside. So at least the least we could do as forex traders, the least we could do to ensure that we are on the right path, we want to be profitable, we want to make money, we want to come on the chart and see certain data and make and benefit from it, is at least wait to see a bullish storyline being built. We can see we have a low, we have this low. Now we can begin to buy. I mean, there will be key levels price will pull back to that we can take buys from. There will be break of structures, key levels price will pull back to. We can this is when we can begin to buy. Not trying to force a buy here. As a matter of fact, you shouldn't even be looking for buys yet, because the order flow will still be bearish here. So you want to wait. You want to make sure we've started building up a bullish storyline, a bullish sentiment that supports this bullish order block we have here on the higher time frame. If you can do this, if you can be patient enough to wait for all of this to unfold, trust me, you would be profitable. You would be profitable. It doesn't matter the style of whatever you trade. If it's trend line, whatever style you trade, the thing here is that we need to wait. If we're trying to buy, we need to see a story that supports the buyers. If we're trying to sell, we need to wait and see a story that supports the sellers. And this waiting and this story is all about the sentiment, the order flow. We cannot be trying to buy a bullish order block when we're seeing a bearish order flow. We need to see a bullish order flow. Okay, so trying to buy here is way risky. You don't want to be this guy, but yeah, you want to be this guy that tries to buy. We can try from this point here. We can see all of this here. We have the break of structure here. We see this one. There'll be a pullback. Price will pull back into a discounted region where we can take that opportunity from. We have a pullback here again. So there will be a pullback into a discount. Sometimes it might not come back, probably because all levels there have been mitigated, and we have to then work with something much higher. Understand? So these are the times we want to be looking for buys, when the sentiment has changed. Understand? When the sentiment has changed, we want to be looking for buyers. Right now we have a different story here, going down into the key level. Right now, if you see, we are coming from here. We are coming from this bullish order block, and we started printing new lows. When we entered here, we are printing lower lows. But once we entered here, and we are coming from here, we started printing new higher lows. Time for us to make our moves. So this is GJ. Now let's discuss this trade. You can see here on the screen how we come about trades like this. If we were to go let's go to the weekly time frame. Let's have a look of the higher time frame so we can see what it looks like. You understand? Okay. So if we zoom, you can see on my screen here how I map this out for a long time now. You can see this. We have this order block here. Price came for mitigation. We have this new order block, and price has come into it for mitigation as well. So you can see how we are building a bullish story, despite this massive drop that happened sometime last year. You understand? You can see how we've built a bullish storyline. You can see this low is higher than this one. This is higher than this, and this order block here, we need a low higher than this as well. So you can see how I've carefully mapped out my scenario, my storyline, waiting for price to come here. And like I said, you don't want to buy here. You don't want to be that guy who is forcing a buy here, when there are going to be tons of opportunities for you in the future. All you have to do is just wait. You understand? So you don't want to be that guy who is trying to buy somewhere here. Okay. Now while we're waiting and price has come here, we can then go on to the daily time frame. If we go on the daily time frame, come here to day one, you'll see right here that on my screen, this is the whole order block on the weekly time frame, and you can see with this red dot, this is the low, this is a higher low, this is a high. You can see this low is way higher than this one. Now we are building a storyline that supports where we are coming from. In forex trading, where you are coming from is way more important, because that's the only thing that can tell you where you are headed. If you don't know where you're coming from, how do you want to know where you're going to? Guys, the only way you can pretty much tell where you're headed is when you know where you're coming from. Where are we coming from? We're coming from a bullish order block on the weekly time frame. Once we have this story built up, we're coming from a bullish order block. Now we're seeing higher lows, bunch of higher lows. Now we have a story to ourselves to tell. We understand? We now have a story that supports this. So what we can do now is begin to look for what buyers. Look for buys, look for buying opportunities. We've seen higher lows. And guys, this is what it looks like once you build this. Let's go on to the 1 hour time frame. Today I'm not going to talk about the different time frames. Just here to tell you guys about the order blocks, the supply and demand. These are the things that actually moves the market for us. For you and I that trade retail, we have to deposit into our broker, and trade, make profit or loss. So you and I, without all of those dramas, we just need to focus on the candlesticks in it. Now when you come on the 1 hour time frame, let's keep the 4H time frame. You can see what I've done here. We have our higher low, we have this. So looking at this structure here, this is you can see we have tons of imbalance here, and we have this order block here. And if you were to take your Fibonacci from here to here, this is somewhere around the 78%. So we are now in the discounted region. We're in the discount of this market, which is the best place to buy from. I was trying to look for some buyers here, but I didn't get a confirmation here. That's why I didn't make a move here. You can see my previous disload there. So right here, we came into the discount, and we now have a confirmation. So if you listened, if you paid attention to what I was saying earlier, I said we have a demand. In this case, we have an order block here. The sentiment, you can see we have this. You can see what's going on. So don't be this guy who wants to force a buy here. Okay. Now there are certain conditions when we can buy here. Maybe in the next couple of videos we can discuss something like this. But there are other conditions when we don't want to be this guy buying here. We want to be buying along the path, not trying to buy here. Quite all right, we have a demand. We've established our order block there, or we have a sentiment to be bearish. We need our sentiment to somewhat bullish, so that we can that supports this bullish order block, and also the higher low. No, on the daily time frame we have something like this, a low, something like this. Good. So this one here is like the third time. So we have this one and this one. This is the third time here. We already have our bullish order flow on the daily time frame. But on the 1 hour time frame, we're trying to establish something else again. We don't want to be buying here. Okay. Now, if you look closely, if we were to go on the 15 minutes time frame, okay, there you go. You see that we had the last break of structure right here. Check. Market shift. Check. Here, sweep. Here, break of structure. Check. And we have the order flow, a beautiful order flow here. Check. And your buy. Beautifully, you take your buy. Now, for those of you out there who don't really understand stuff like this, you don't want to. You see this here, you see here. You see this is a sweep. Guys, this right here is a sweep. You can use X to identify it, or you could use just the term the sweep. Understand? This is a sweep. This is not a break of structure. This here is the break of structure because we broke and closed above. You understand? The body. So this here are market shifts. At least the first one we're seeing here on this time frame. On a different time frame, we'll get a different market shift somewhere lower. So different time frames, different interpretations. That will be a different topic entirely. Okay, different time frames, different interpretations. On this time frame, on this one, 15 minutes. Here we can see this time frame, 15 minutes. This is our market shift. If we were to go on the 1 minute, we're going to have a different market shift lower. We have a market shift here. We have a sweep. This is not a break of structure, so don't try to buy with this. We didn't have a break of structure that had order flow. If you're my student, this whole concept here is Formula 5. If you're my student, you will know how, you understand better how we got this trade here. So this whole thing is Formula 5. But you can see we have the break of structure. Now, if you are buying here from this demand, you stand more chances than the guy who is trying to force a buy here, because guess what? In this case it worked, but in other times this might not work. So if you tried here and it doesn't work, you just took a loss that was not called for. So your chances here is way more better than here. Here is more aggressive. Here is you waiting for the sentiment to build to match up with the bullish order block where we're coming from. Now we're coming from a bullish order block, and we've created more bullish order blocks along the path that we can take. And you can take a buy from this order block here and SL. If you were to go on the 30 minutes time frame, you'll see it much better. So you can see it much better on the 30 minutes time frame. You can see the order block right there. Okay. So also guys, so if you're my students, you understand this is Formula 5. And one more thing, sometimes some of you will see this video and see this structure and be like, well, this case, what happened? This is a trend line liquidity. Yes. So if you're my student, you understand this. Sometimes this is we're going to be faced with something like this. We can have, where's our path? We could have a structure like this. We could have something like this, and price gives us a shift, and we have this, we have order flow, and price will just take out this whole thing, come here and buy. So in this case here, we have a trend line liquidity because this whole thing here was a mitigation. There was an order block here, and price came to mitigate this order block here. You understand? And price is not going to come to this order block here before buying. So there are certain conditions when this will be the case. This is Formula 7. If you're my student, this is Formula 7, and there are certain conditions when this will be the case. So you have to know which is which. This, we have this, and we have the order flow, and price will come here and see take off in the sun. So there are certain times when this is the case, despite all of these liquidities. So we have to apply wisdom. Okay, so there are certain times when this will be the case, and this one will still be there. I mean, this structure will still be there. Okay, so they are conditional. That's why I had to come up with formulas for myself and my team, so that we can be guided on to know which to choose. So this can be a bit confusing sometimes. We have this could be a trend line liquidity. I mean, the same thing here, but in this case we chose this and we've worked with this. In this case we swept this and came back here to Formula 7 to continue. So the trade I took on Bitcoin, I took a trade on Bitcoin. It was this concept I applied. So we need to know when to apply which. Okay, and if you look at this on the 1 hour time frame, guys, you can see that here we applied this concept, correct, here. But on the left, you can see we applied this concept I just explained here. I took all of this as liquidity for price to come back here. This is Formula 2. But here we applied Formula 5. This is where it gets very interesting. This is a very, very broad topic. Okay, guys, very, very huge one. But the most important thing here to pick from this video is when price comes, when you're trying to trade, you're building up a storyline, you have a bullish order block, for example. In this case, you don't just be this guy who buys here. If you can be patient enough to wait, just be patient, wait for this storyline to tally with this idea. I mean, this is a bullish order block, correct? Let us see bullish order flow. It's that easy, guys. Once we can see this, all this that supports bullish order flow, all these lows are being respected. They are not be that, you see, intact. Now we can look for other order blocks that we can work with. It all falls down to the formulas, how you choose to trade. Like I said, whatever style you trade, you're good. Trend line, if you are trading trend line, if you are trading chart patterns, the most important thing is the direction. Once you get the direction correct, okay, you make money. So guys, these are the secret behind the supply and demand. You don't want to be hasty. You don't want to just go quick, all in. Just give it time. Allow the market to form, to guide you. So it's very important we know where we are coming from, so that we can know where we're headed. In Forex, if you don't know where you're coming from, it's going to be very hard for you to know where we're going to. So guys, give it time, study, practice, backtest this, and see you guys in our next video.